Yet another unfortunate injury this postseason. Two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo jumping up to contest an alley-oop with 7 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in the third quarter when his left knee appeared to buckle. He falls on the floor here in obvious pain, grimacing, clutching his knee, and the Bucks, well, they're calling it a hyperextended left knee for now, but sources telling ESPN that Giannis is expected to undergo further imaging on the knee today. This is frustrating for a Bucks team seeking its first NBA Finals appearance since 1974, but an injury to their star player, not exclusive to them, of course, this postseason. If Giannis misses Game 5, he would be the 10th different All-Star this season to miss a playoff game. The list of 9 already the most in a single postseason all-time. And that, by the way, doesn't even include Trae Young because he was not named an All-Star this season. Of course, he was last season. Richard, what do you make of the rash of injuries to all of these stars in this playoffs?
Well, look, people have talked about it. They were warned about it before. A lot of it was soft tissue injury, and that's where you saw the hamstrings, the calves, like a lot of that stuff that was affecting players' groins. But ultimately, this is part of the game, and it's unfortunate. We knew that there was going to be a rash, and everyone's like, oh, you only care about the superstars. That's the only thing to talk about. The only reason why we're talking about the superstars is because they're the ones that play the most minutes.
Right.
So their bodies are most likely to be the most fatigued. Yes, they are most likely to be the best specimens, but they are also the one pushing themselves to the limit. So it's unfortunate, but I think this season the champion is going to be decided by whoever has the most health luck.
I mean, to a degree, it's always decided a little bit by that, Perk, but it feels more significant this year, right? Perk, you with us?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I'm right here. I'm sorry, Rachel. I'm so used to Richard talking so much. I didn't know it was my turn. I didn't know it was my turn. But it's all good. But at the end of the day, look, I hate all the injuries that's happening, and Richard and you are right as far as with part of it is luck. But I have to put a little blame on the NBA. And I was one of the guys that were kind of critical of LeBron earlier when he was like, this is not a good idea. And I retweeted something and said, check ball. Nobody was trying to hear that. Get the Christmas Day game started. But this is the reason why. Because they had a short turnaround, didn't get a chance to have a full training camp, and then all of a sudden you go into a season where guys not adjusted to the workload, and this is what happened. You start to have these soft tissue injuries. Guys who playing a lot of minutes, like Richard just said, for as all the All-Stars and stuff like that, they're asked to perform at a high level. They're asked to play makeup games. All-Star game was thrown in there after they were promised that it wouldn't be an All-Star weekend. So going through the COVID protocol, a lot of things to me were kind of like set up for the players to have injuries, in my opinion, by the NBA. That's just my personal opinion.
It's been a grueling season. There's no arguing that. And some of the stuff that's happened has just been necessary. All these COVID protocols mean that these guys have been tested 2 or 3 times a day, that normally when they would be sleeping at 11 p.m., they have to go to the practice facility, or at 6 a.m., they have to go to the practice facility, which I get it. Poor millionaire has to set his alarm clock. But you are out there pushing your body to the limit in a short period of time between games. And then when your patterns are disrupted, I think, frankly, in my mind, that has been the most damaging, more so than the start date. The start date really affected the 4 teams that were left in the bubble. We were showing Kyrie Irving's injury. He wasn't even in the bubble. I mean, he hadn't played in so long, so I'm not sure the start date is what did someone like him in, but just as you guys say, when you have tired bodies, fatigued bodies get injured more quickly.
There's no sympathy, Rachel. That's the number one thing that I picked from this. When people were critical of Bron when he said this a couple of weeks ago, and even Perk, he said he was like, "Oh, no one's trying to hear that check ball," and it was like, well. There were other people. It wasn't just Bron. A lot of times his voice is the loudest because it has the biggest platform. But ultimately, there were a lot of people to discuss this. And so many times you have teams trying to protect players, but like the league should also try and protect their players in certain moments, trying to figure out best ways to get break.
Well, look, we'll have to see sort of how they go the rest of the way. Obviously, for a team like the Clippers, they played every other day for pretty much this entire playoffs. Some other teams have had to deal with that. They're trying to race to get these playoffs in before the Olympic Games because guys have commitments to their home teams and things like that. TV has contractual commitments. And then next season, we are supposed to be on schedule. So we will get back to what we used to have. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.